Hi guys, Stephanie from Cake Nation here. In this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create sharp edges on a fondant cake. The first thing I've done is I've got some white fondant and I've rolled it out quite thin. I've got a buttercreamed cake here and I've allowed that to dry just so that it's nice and firm so it's not moving when I'm actually trying to place the fondant on. You want to secure the edges first, just around the top of the cake, and then once this is done, just keep stretching and pulling the fondant out to make sure that you get a flush finish to the cake. Instead of dragging your hands down the cake, you kind of want to push in from the bottom so that you're not stretching the fondant from the top. And once you're happy that it's all in the right place, you just need to trim off any excess and then get some smoothers. The smoothers you need to use just to smooth out the edges of the cake, removing any marks or dents or fingerprints that have been made from where you've been trying to put the fondant on. You can use it around the sides of the cake, on the top of the cake, and then the cake board if you've chosen to cover that at the same time as the cake. If you've chosen to cover the cake board at the same time of the cake, do not forget to put some water just underneath the fondant, just so that it sticks to the actual board. Once you're happy with the board being smooth and the side of the cakes being smooth, if you trim off any excess just using a sharp knife. So there are a few different smoothers that you can buy. I've put the link in the description box below for the ones that I use. They're just two clear bits of plastic, one's rounded and one's square. The rounded one you want to use for the top of the cake and the square one you want to use for around the sides. So you're literally holding the square one on and then you're using the round one just to work the sides of the cake, just rubbing, and I slightly lift up the square one just to give me a really sharp edge. So just continue working the cake using both smoothers to smooth out the tops of the cake, and then once you've smoothed out a certain area, just use that smoother then just to work the side of the cake to make sure that that's nice and smooth as well. You can repeat certain areas. I tend to prefer to work around my whole cake first and then give it another go. It just gives the fondant time to set in that certain position. So here you can see the difference between both of the sides. So the one that I'm working on is quite sharp and the other side is quite rounded. You want to work all the way around the cake doing this with the top smoother with the rounded edge moving left to right, and the other smoother on the side of the cake just slowly moving up towards the top of the cake. Sometimes when you're doing this method you can actually trim off some of the fondant between the both of the smoothers. Don't worry if this happens, it is just a case that some areas of the cake may have extra fondant in than others. Once you've finished your first way around the cake, if you take out your big white smoother and just smooth out the top, and then just work your way around the cake again, just making sure that those edges are really sharp. I'm using the smoothers as well on the sides of the cake just to make sure it's really smooth, and then I'm just identifying different areas throughout the cake that need more work than others. Just keep checking the cake to make sure that all the edges are as sharp as they can be. You may notice some dips just as you're smoothing out the sides of the cake. Even though this video was speeded up, I think the cake only took me around 15 minutes to completely smooth out, so it is something that is quite quick and it does make your cakes look a whole lot better. Here's what the sharp edge should look like. You can see there that as I lifted it up I just dinted it slightly with my fingers, so I'm just going in and re-smoothing it. You can take as long as you want just to make sure the edges are really sharp. Thanks for watching today. I have put links to all the items that I've used in the description box below. Here's the finished cake with the sharp edges. If you like this tutorial and would like to see some more, please click the subscribe button and check out my other videos. Thank you.